Shalom, brothers. Y'all about to show me y'all shot. All praises to y'all about to show me y'all shot. So honors to the apostles, elders, and the brethren out there throughout the four corners. You know, we were sitting here and we was looking at a movie on Netflix. I think the name of the movie is called Mother. Didn't get to see the whole thing, but you know, the program that the movie was running is basically the New World Order, and what the Georgia Guidestones maintain humanity at like 500 million. That's basically what that movie was dealing with. You got a scripture out right now?
Cause switch that. That's Matthew 24th chapter.
Because the movie, like watching the movie, it's straight up a New World Order production. Maybe we'll start Ezra's 8:51, Many Great Miseries.
Good. I got Ezekiel 39:3. It said, I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand and will cause thy arrows to fall out of thy right hand. And that going into what Spirit had us watching this movie talk about another movie called Terminator.
Exactly.
You had the computer program called Skynet.
Exactly. Which is artificial intelligence. And Skynet, when Skynet went online, they launched the missiles from the U.S. against Russia and the other enemies of the U.S., knowing that they would launch missiles back and destroy Skynet's enemy here in the United States, which is what? The humans. It was the war of the machines. So the machines taking over. Those machines, that's the Illuminati. Those are the elite. That's basically what that is. And in the first Terminator movie, when Sergeant Reese met up with Sarah Connor and they were in that parking garage, he was telling them about what was going on in the future, and he moved his right forearm over and showed a red barcode there on his forearm. You know, which that's a precursor to the chip.
Okay.
And they were exterminated. The humans were being exterminated. Then you had, you know, so that sparked it from this movie Mother that's on Netflix, because it's pretty much the same program.
Right.
The movie I, Robot with Will Smith, the same program with those new advanced robots that they were coming out with. They started killing off the older generation of robots that were what? That protected the humans.
Right.
It's the same program.
And speaking about that cursor or that barcode, back in World War II, Hitler was doing that to the so-called Jews that was supposed to be in neo-Nazi prison camps.
It was a 5-digit number. You know, a lot of people call it the Jew tattoo.
Yeah.
It was a 5-digit number that told their age, their weight, and basically what their physical capability was. And the machine that they used back then, I think, was called the Holland business machine,
IBM?
which was IBM. IBM were they were the progenitors of that.
Okay. And the Spirit have us going in and talk about these movies, because when you read 2 Corinthians 2:11, it says we're not ignorant to Satan's devices.
That's right.
Hollywood has a term that they like to put out there, or the cult, called predictive programming.
Right.
Their Urim or Thummim, or their crystal ball, so to speak, they like to put in their Hollywood movies or TV series or certain thing, or in the music, they put out their agenda. Mm-hmm. So the Lord giving us that spiritual eye and spiritual ears, we're able to see how the enemy or the wolf that's coming. That's why I tell you to be on your watch, and therefore pray that you be found worthy to escape all these things that's coming.
Okay, so I got a quick reset. This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 3. It says, but if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. And the gospel is what? That we are the true Israelites. We're teaching the whole Bible, the whole word, the prophecies, okay, the coming of the RFID, the mark of the chip, the mark of the beast, which is the RFID chip.
That's right.
I said it together. Yeah. All right, but that's part of the gospel, and that's the main part of the gospel, just like the Israelite foreigners is a main key in this truth. You got certain keys in this truth, man. Key prophecies, key things that we're waiting upon. The chariots, that's another main part of the doctrine. But going back to the mark of the beast, okay, a lot of people are still sleeping and they think that that's not what it's talking about. So yeah, if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost. It said what? In whom the God of this world have blinded the minds of them which believe not. least the light of the glorious gospel of Yahweh Shai, who is the image of the Most High, should shine into them. So in other words, the God of this world is also known as what? The prince of the power of the air. That's why they got everything is based off of a Wi-Fi signal. All right, like they're speaking about the brothers going into this whole thing with Skynet and Terminator, and then in this Netflix movie, Mama, or with Mother, whatever the fuck it is, right? The reason why Esau does that is because what? That's part of his New World Order, man. That's why they want to put that chip up in you so that way they have total control and they got everything operating based on Wi-Fi. So they tell you to get the Wi-Fi doorbells or the camera doorbell. They tell you to get the smart
TV,
smart TVs with the smart door locks. Smart, now they got a thing where you can change out your old locks, the deadbolts, and you can put a smart lock in there to where you can unlock your door or lock your door through your phone. And they got this program now. Everybody got a damn smartphone. Everybody's walking around, from your kids, children, which that's a tracking device. But eventually, it's going to lead to them putting the chip inside you. All right.
Well, that goes to Matthew the 6th chapter, saying lay not thy treasures up where thieves could break in, because all this stuff was smart. It makes it. Now they had since the elder brought that up, they had a special on 2020 or Nightline on ABC where they show how easy it is having all the your stuff being electronic, how easy it is for computer hackers to break into your house. And they showed the people and how they could watch you through your own stuff. You could watch, like all these TVs are two-way cameras. Your cell phone is a two-way camera. Your laptop. So all these hackers could break in, they could see right inside your stuff. So that's why the Lord said, lay not thy treasures, but thieves could break in. The ultimate thief, when you read John 10:10, is Esau. The thief cometh not but to destroy and to kill.
That's right. That's right.
So you know everything smart really is a code word, means spy.
God.
Spyware.
God. If I may bring on just a quick point going into these phones and everything, there was an article that came out about last week, and it pretty much went into this radiation that these phones and all this Wi-Fi material is giving out. People are actually growing horns out of their head, man.
God.
Like at the bottom part of their head, there's horns that are developing out of their heads right now, man.
Mutating.
Basically,
Look, it's a mutating. Yeah. These devils, man, they know what they're doing.
Well, look at Chernobyl. The big toxic nuclear waste that happened over there, I believe that was over there in Russia. You had frogs coming out of there with two heads. It mutates you. That's why they got moved those old movies like that, Hills Have Eyes, and all that, when they was doing nuclear tests, and then the backlash of that is it changes your body DNA. Esau's a mad scientist.
God. This is Isaiah chapter 64. I'm gonna start at the top. It says, "Hear my voice, O God, in my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked."
Wow. Is that Isaiah or is that 16?
I'm sorry. 64.
I had to say,
Yeah.
That's okay. Psalm 64. All right. Hiding from the secret counsel of the wicked. So like what the elder Todd is going into, who's behind all of this, man?
The so-called white man is behind everything.
That's right.
He's behind it all.
The Illuminati. They go under various names.
Ooh, yeah.
All right.
Lost in the Dorados.
It says, "Who whet their tongues like a sword."
And think about it. Why would King David, and this is a prophecy showing you that King David was a prophet.
That's right.
And why would he have to say hide me? Because why? The things that they're conspiring in is to destroy us. Like the Elder Times went into the Georgia Guidestone, Rex 84, all these different agendas that these devils set up was basically based to destroy Israel. You see?
Ooh, you know what's heavy? You said hide me. Look at that. They got the all-seeing eye, right? One part of their power or their sorcery is to watch and be like the Most High, try to see everything. You're on camera everywhere you go.
Right.
Every block in your house. They even got what they call thermal technology, where they can look at you through your walls and see your body heat.
Yeah.
You know, they show you that in an old movie called Eraser, but they showed you that when they went in for that shooter at the Post gay nightclub. They showed you right on TV how they used thermal technology to find out he was hiding in the bathroom.
Right. They call it they showed you that in the movie The Siege with Denzel. They call it a microwave.
Yep.
Where they could look, where they were watching the chick who was a CIA operative who was dealing with the Arab guy. They were having sex and they were watching it in the helicopter, that microwave.
Yep.
They were watching them have sex in infrared, basically.
Yep.
God. Verse 3, who wet their tongues like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect.
Right, and that's these policies that these devils is passing. And those policies, they enact them on YouTube itself, which this is the form of communication that this broadcast is coming through on.
Internet.
But
Highway,
YouTube and the internet, the information highway, now they're setting up their algorithm where anytime there's something said about the so-called Jew, your video gets pulled down and your account
Right.
gets flagged, and then they get rid of your account.
Right.
Well, I got a picture for you.
So with their policies that they're setting, because they don't want the truth to be revealed. You know what I'm saying? We're in the time of this devil being revealed for the true devil that he is. So
That's
now
right. That's
they
right.
got to make the necessary measures to what? To try to stop the program. But it's too late because the cat's already out the bag.
Gotcha. There you go. Daniel's 8:25. It said, through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace destroy many.
Right? Magnify himself in his heart, and through peace he shall destroy many.
And not for nothing too, 'cause you got to remember that this devil, scripture say, can a leopard change his spots?
Nope.
Right? He that is accustomed to do evil, do good. This is the same devil that go back in the beginning, going back to the Greeks. All right, that was really the beginning of Esau's real empires, man. The Greek Empire, and they basically was pulling this back then. That's why the scripture said there's no new thing under the sun.
Right.
And since you brought that, I want to bring one quick precept out real quick. Since you brought that, all right, this is the book of First Maccabees, because that's what this all leads to, the New World Order,
Yep.
right? First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus, right, which he was an Edomite, all right,
That's right.
right? It says, which he was one of the sons of the four generals, the grandson or great grandson, right? King Antiochus, you have a different line, of Antiochus or the Seleucid Empire,
Right, the Seleucid
You know,
Empire.
Dynasty, yeah.
right? So you got Antiochus, let's talk about Antiochus Epiphanes,
Right.
all right?
Antiochus Epiphanes.
Which, I forget if it was the third or the fourth. I gotta check it.
He's the fourth.
The third, right?
Epiphanies was the, I thought, oh,
Oh, no, like I said, you
might
Google
be
it.
right. Okay.
You would Google it, but the point is,
The third or fourth.
that's Antiochus Epiphanes. That's the Antiochus this is speaking of.
Yeah.
All right? It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
Yeah.
See?
And that's what
Yep.
the so-called white man is going.
Yeah.
That's what the New World Order is
That's
about.
right.
Turning everybody into one.
Yeah.
Universal. Uni means one, and vert means to turn to one.
Okay,
They're
yep.
trying to turn everybody into one people. It's not going to happen. See, this program goes back to Genesis, the 11th chapter, the Tower of Babel.
That's right.
All right, because they're all Nimrod worshipers. They're all worshipers of Saturn. Saturn is another name for Nimrod anyway. Bacchus is another name for Nimrod anyway. It all goes back to Nimrod. It all goes back to the ancient Babylonians. It all goes back to the Tower of Babel. The scriptures tell you the people were of one speech. Then the Lord confounded everyone and gave them different languages. So no group of people knew what the other group of people were talking about. Then that's where the name Babel came about.
Well, from
Right? So that's the fourth, actually, Antiochus.
Antiochus the fourth.
The fourth, yep.
well, Esau, that's why he has a term in Latin called e pluribus unum, meaning out of many
Many
shall
came-
come one.
Many came one. That's on the dime. If you have a dime, flip the dime over, it just shows the torch there,
Prometheus.
the Promethean torch, and it says e pluribus unum, which means pluribus means many, and unum is one. Out of many came one. If you remember the movie, the old Wizard of Oz, when they were following the yellow brick road, and then when they finally got to the wizard, after they defeated the witch and all that,
Right.
the wizard, after he came from behind the curtain, and they asked the wizard where was he from. He said, "I'm from the land of e pluribus unum." That's the old Wizard of Oz that we grew up as kids watching.
Right, right.
Dorothy and Toto and the Tin Man and the
Yeah.
lion and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, when they finally got to the wizard, and he said, "I'm from the land of e pluribus unum."
Now check this out. It says, right? It says, moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and every one should lead his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, many also of the Israelite consented to his religion, to that system. So, and that's what's happening now. You got Esau, and with these robots, these the artificial intelligence, that's just enforcers, man.
Yeah,
It's part of the super soldier program that these devils got to enforce. Basically, and that's why the scriptures say the time of Jacob's trouble.
Yeah.
All right, and then we got to get 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, because they're going to look, man. Look, the scripture said the thing that has happened is that which shall be. There's no new thing under the sun. So just like Jerusalem was besieged going back 70 AD, this time it's going to be worse. The scriptures say in Daniel's the 12th chapter that this is going to be the worst time that there ever was. Right. So now the thing is that back then they said, look, you got to stop following your laws, and that's why Israel became Hellenized, man. Exactly. Back then, the same thing today, because here it is now through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua via the internet, right? This truth is going out, man. All right, hundreds of thousands, millions are seeing this, man. Seeing these shows, and then you got Israelites that's waking up. It's like I think the elders quoted Psalms 50 and 16. The Lord said He was going to set us right back in order right before their eyes. So now the elites are seeing this and they scrambling, man, and they trying to circumvent the truth from coming out, and that's why they passing all these new legislations that's happening, that's coming out to censor, YouTube, what videos go up,
right?
And they're increasing the other bullshit, the policies, the homosexual, gay pride month, they blowing that thing all up. Women's lib bullshit, right? They try to circumvent this truth, but they don't understand you can't stop this truth, man. Right. Through the spirit of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua, this truth is going to stand when all the bullshit is done.
That's right. Hey, can I read this again about
Yeah, come.
This is Daniel 8:25, right? It says, and through his policy also he shall cause the craft to prosper, right? Mm-hmm. So you look up craft in the blue letter, it comes from shakal, right? It means intelligence. By implication, success, knowledge, policy, prudence, sense, understanding, wisdom.
Look at that. He shall cause his craft to prosper. Smartphone, smart TV, artificial intelligence. Like again, the movie that we were watching on Netflix, Mother, is dealing with what? Artificial intelligence. Skynet, the Terminator, artificial intelligence. The movie, what is it? The movie Elysium with Matt Damon, where the Edomites had a colony in outer space, and they had what? Robots down here policing the people here on the earth. And a lot of the people had like cancer and different diseases, and they had a means up there on Elysium where you can basically become whole again. But you had to be super rich to get that.
Yeah.
Can I bring this up?
Go ahead.
Yeah, this is the root word for serpent in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, because you just read, read that again.
Daniel 8:25.
Well, it's craft, basically.
Good. It's in Daniel 8:25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
Yep. And then serpent, that's the doctrine of the serpent. It says nakash, to practice divination, divine, observe signs, learn by experience, diligently observe, practicing first. Basically a witch. He uses witchcraft pretty much, and he's tricking everybody in the new world. He wants everybody on a database.
Exactly.
And through all of these problems, he's creating. People are reacting. People losing their social security. All sorts of things are happening. And he's gonna bring that solution.
That's right.
And that's
Right.
the chip. That's the chip.
Right.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's another term for it. It's called Hegelian dialectics.
Yeah.
Problem, reaction, solution. Pressure from above and pressure from below. So they cause the problem so that way they can bring the solution. Just like going back to 9/11. When before 9/11 happened, they were trying to pass the Patriot Act. Couldn't get the Patriot Act passed because people were like, hell no, that's totally unconstitutional. We're giving up our rights. The towers go down, the 2 towers go down, and then what happens? The people in the mode of save me, frightened out of their mind. Then they passed the Patriot Act. Right after the towers went down, but they couldn't pass it before.
He does it in such a sly way
that
you really think that it's something good for you.
Yeah.
Esau's a master at that.
That's what he does. Yeah.
I got appreciate
Yeah. Well, that's why you know it as the devil, man.
That's right.
Devil means a deceiver.
That's
all right. Go ahead.
This is Isaiah 26 going to 27, right? Since you mentioned the serpent, it said, for behold, the Lord cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity The earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain.
Look at that. The
Right.
earth is disclosing her blood and no more covering the slain. Because you can't sweep these things under the rug. All these programs that you've been running, you can't sweep this shit under the rug right now. There ain't no more sweeping it under the rug.
And not only that, blood is going to pursue you devils, man. All right? The Most High going to leak your blood in the street. The Lord going to cover this America with your blood, man.
That's right.
All right? Here it is, you was, like the scripture say, you were drunk off of the blood of the saints, of us. Here it is, you've been known for slaughtering, murdering, and butchering us for hundreds of years. Now, guess what? Judgment time is coming for you.
That's right.
You see? And that's why the Lord, you know, said he's going to cut that time in short, man. You know, because why? You devils, you've been doing, you really been ruling and filling yourself. You've been proud, and you forgot that it was the Most High that set you up. Like I tell you in Isaiah the 10th chapter, should the axe boast itself against him that heweth thereof. You see? So the Most High going to stop you right in your tracks, man. Like the scripture say, right when he's about to fill his belly.
That's right.
Yeah.
And this is Isaiah 27:1. It says, in that day the Lord with his sword and great strong sword shall punish Leviathan, that a piercing serpent, even Leviathan, that crooked serpent, he shall slay the dragon that is in the sea.
Esau.
Look at that. That's talking about the so-called weapon.
That's right.
That old serpent, which is the devil and
That's
Satan.
right.
That's what it's talking about. It ain't talking about the actual Leviathan that's in the sea.
Right.
Because the actual Leviathan in the sea, or the movie that's out about him, Godzilla. You're not, the Most High ain't gonna kill Leviathan. He gonna use Leviathan to kill you.
That's right.
Leviathan's in order with the
That's
Most
right.
High.
Yeah.
Because you got underwater bases. You think you're gonna hide. Guess who's gonna get your ass up out of there?
But spiritually, they're that old dragon, that serpent, right?
Yep.
There's a quick couple of footnotes. The oldest secret society ever that they hold on to is called the Brotherhood of the Snake or Dragon.
Look at that.
And then when you go into Anti-Levay, when you see that pentagram, look at the Hebrew characteristics. When you look at it in the Hebrew, it says Leviathan.
Yep.
So they know that they're the Leviathan
That's
or
right.
that old serpent.
That's right.
That's why in the KKK, they what? The leader of it is called what?
The
The
Grand
Grand Dragon.
That's
You
right.
know?
Revelation 12 calls him a dragon.
Yeah.
And the word
Right.
dragon means
That's
cruel.
right.
That's why you had the Draconian laws or whatever going back during the time of Rome. It just said
Draconian legislation.
Draconian legislation. Come.
Wow. I got a precept. if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
mind.
yeah, come.
This is Job chapter 18, verse 5. Yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out.
And
And
the
the
spirit
spark-
keep bringing this scripture out, man. The light of the wicked should be put out. Because meaning what? All of their devices, which is their evil imaginations, all their intentions, their policies and everything, right? All this world that they're imagining, this wicked utopia of homosexuality. That's what it all goes back to. The New World Order is really about homosexuality.
Right.
That's all it
New World
really
is
is,
basically about, like how the scriptures say, let thy will be done in heaven as it is on earth. So their thing is flipping it and let Satan's will be done
Yeah.
here in the earth.
Do as thou wilt.
Do as thou wilt, like that, the Aleister Crowley quote, excuse me.
Yeah.
Do as thou wilt. On Kanye West and Jay-Z had a song on that album, Watch the Throne. No church in the wild.
Yeah.
The chorus kept saying, no church in the wild. Which means what? Do as thou wilt.
That's why the architects work like Job 9:24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. It's a reason why Washington D.C. is laid out a pentagram. When you got certain things what they call ley lines and certain demonic it attracts more demons and opens up portals for demons to come on this earth. That's why everybody's on pharmaceutical drugs or recreational drugs because it opens up portals to make them more demonic. That's why crime and murder is at an all-time high.
That's right. This is Job 18 and 5. It says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candles shall be put out with him. The steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own.
Right. In other words, the Most High gonna basically he's throwing monkey wrenches in their program, man. You see, because why? That's why he's moving quick or whatever. Because why? He know he has but a short time. And the Lord because here it is, they had all these planks and everything. They've been wanting to establish these things, but they kept running into monkey wrenches, man. Because overall, the elites, even though that they cause these different wars and everything to happen, you work for the Most High. The Most High control you, man.
That's right.
Like the scripture say, on the left hand where the Lord doth work, All right, Satan is in order with the Most High. You sons of Satan, man. All right, so you can't do nothing until the Most High wants you to do something, man.
That's right.
You see, so he said his steps, all your planks and everything gonna be straightened, man. Meaning they gonna be put in a position of difficulty, man. In other words, the Lord's gonna slow you down, man. Here it is, you thinking block. They've been wanting to get rid of us, right? How many years Lieberman and them talking about making laws to get us off of YouTube, anti-Semitism, which is bullshit, right? Because we're Shemitic. There ain't no Sem, it's Shem. We're Shemitic, so we can't be anti-Shemitic. Because we come from Shem, right? But they've been trying for long, but the Most High is sitting there, how do you say, been pulling trump cards on them, man. You know? And that's why we've been able to continue and push this word. Even though they're Strike Brothers videos. Right. One time they was taking our channels down. Now they back to trying to do that.
Yep.
See,
they back to it.
The Most High, Yahweh Shem Shai, is in control of things. Even though, see, you got an agenda, but the Most High got his agenda.
That's right.
See?
That's right.
We know who's going to prevail.
And we know whose agenda is going to prevail. That's right.
That's right.
Right.
They go come after they attack the physical temple.
Right.
What do you think they will try to do to the spiritual temple?
That's
right.
They go come after that temple again.
Yeah.
Same thing, but this time the standard's gonna be lifted up.
That's
Right.
right. That's
Right.
right.
You can read that in Wisdom of Solomon, the 2nd chapter. It said they're going to come and see if the Most High is going to come and protect us.
Yeah.
Man. Job 18:7. The steps of the strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast them down.
Look at the news.
Yeah.
Look at the news. This is a nation divided.
That's right.
Hell,
Super
even
divided.
your allies in the UN, they don't want to deal with your funky ass. Because they know that you're full of shit.
They're tired of them.
They're tired of you. They're tired of your war games. They're tired of the games that you play.
Yeah.
So these people that are getting that welfare money from you, they're taking that welfare money and they're still gonna shit on you.
Oh,
And
they're
you know
trying to
what's
set up their own currency bills.
in all those places, Iran, Russia, North Korea, wherever they got garrisons, they bombing and attacking. You gotta remember, their children getting blown up.
That's
Their
right.
loved ones.
That's right.
That's why the scripture said they shall hate the whore and burn her.
That's right.
Yeah, you got children. Hey, that's why a lot of people come back, or a lot of even U.S. soldiers come back messed up because they know the atrocities and the wickedness they're doing over there.
Yep.
Preset.
Hospitals and shit.
Okay.
It's Obadiah 1:7.
Yeah.
Or 1:6. I started at 6.
Yeah.
It says, how are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? It says,
And look at that. That's what the internet is.
Yeah.
That opened the door on
Yeah.
everything because
That's
because really whistleblowers. You got Edomite whistleblowers that are out there all over, all over, revealing all of the intricacies and the idiosyncrasies of the New World Order, right? Okay?
Good.
Of the New World Order. Writing books. They're going out there doing lectures. They're doing lectures revealing the deep hidden secrets of Freemasonry, revealing the deep hidden secrets of the New World Order. How are the things that Esau sought out? Because the Lord put the spirit on these people, these whistleblowers to come out there and put that information up out there.
Good.
Yeah, he should pour his spirit upon all flesh.
yeah, that's what's happening, man. So it
Oh,
said, it said all the men of thy confederacy.
Right, all these people that are joined unto you, like the UN, and you got people that you're giving that welfare money to. So they're taking that money, right? They eating your bread, but they're gonna lay a sore wound on your ass
Yeah.
because they're all tired of your shit. So they'll take your money and put it into their military, build their military up.
All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. And that's what's happening now.
Exactly.
You know, they sending troops, out there to the Middle East,
Yep.
out there to Pakistan. Basically, and that's why they're gonna have to institute the draft because they spread it so thin, man. And they still got how you call it, militarized zones.
Your DMZ, the militarized zone.
Yeah, DMZs. They still got those set up in different other countries or whatever. So the Lord said all the men like confederacies have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee.
Yeah.
Yeah, they tired,
Tired of
man.
your
He should have
They
the
tired.
They're not even like these.
No, go ahead, bro.
No, I was gonna say real quick. They're not even happy with how America is dealing with trying to start shit with Iran.
Yeah.
The rest of those countries are like, a lot of those countries are like,
Yeah.
You clearly just trying to start some shit where it ain't gonna.
Right.
You know.
And then too, you know, they got a lot of different leagues and packs. You got the other Arabs, they know that, well, shit, if they talk shit to Iran like that, right, they're gonna start attacking the rest of us other Arab countries that ain't sell out and got part of the,
Fuck up the oil bill.
yeah, they gonna fuck with the other.
Mm-hmm.
So they gonna, you know, they gonna protect what little they got, you
That's
know.
right.
And then they've acquired more ammunition. They've gotten stronger. They like back in the days where everybody had to follow whatever America said. Now, like the scripture say in Isaiah the 14th chapter, these other nations are just as strong as America. And he was speaking into the which, you know, a lot of the leaders of these countries, let's don't get it twisted. They all are part of that secret society, right? But a lot of these other countries, they got that artificial intelligence too.
That's right.
They got part of this. Look, man, and that's because why? It's the left wing, right wing is the same head. All these wars that are happening are being funded by the same people, man.
That's right.
Goes back to this devil, the Rothschild. He funded both sides of these wars that are happening. They set up agent provocateurs in certain, even going to the Congo, you know, and other parts inside of Africa, the certain wars they have down there. Esau set all that up, man.
Yep.
You know, because why? That's his devil. He's just a mischievous demon, man. You know?
He profits on both sides.
He profits on both sides. And then he sits back and act like he ain't do nothing. You know, he hide his hands after he done threw a damn boulder.
What was that movie? That first movie was heavy. G.I. Joe. That was a heavy illuministic movie. And they had sword and
Rise
shield.
of Cobra.
Rise of Cobra, which is the Brotherhood of the Snake again. You know, that they tell you that, look, they control both sides. And they always tell you, if you want one to win the war, all you do is got to stop funding the other side.
That's it. Determine who the winner is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that's right. Since they that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee, and there is none understanding in him.
Right. So they taking that welfare money from you, but they've laid a wound under you. Okay, because they taking that welfare money from you. You know what they're doing? They're building up their arsenal.
Yep.
They're building up their arsenal, and they're ready to strike at your ass.
And they got the weapons from your dumb ass.
Yep.
Yeah. That's right.
God, I got a precept real quick.
Yep.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 25, verse 7. And it says, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, in the veil that is spread over all the nations. And y'all brought up a good point going into the council. Pretty much you're going to see that they've been found lacking, man. They said it's going to uncover the face of the covering cast. And what is that covering cast? That's the veil. You know, we're talking about America being a whore, right? How are the Americans going to be, how are these other nations going to see that this bitch was a whore? That skirt being lifted, man. All right, that skirt being lifted, and you see the bumps, the herpes, everything. And you found pretty much that she ain't that lady, that queen that y'all thought she was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they go come up against her, man, because she's contaminated all the other nations and they mad.
Really,
You know?
she's a nasty hoe. She's
Nasty
a nasty, disease-ridden
That's
whore.
right.
Ghetto. She
Yeah.
ghetto as hell.
Yeah.
Ghetto as hell. A nasty hoe.
That's right.
Matter of fact,
Ratchet.
ratchet as hell.
America's ratchet.
That,
Mother of the chlamydia dates.
Yeah, the committee of nights. That documentary, How They See Us. That's a big shame on you
That's
fucking
a shame.
devils.
Straight
Oh,
up.
yeah.
Straight up.
It's all on Netflix.
And that's one out of
And that's
millions.
just one out of,
One out of millions of
Boy,
Negroes
Esau's
getting
getting
real
filled.
nigga by you devils,
You got
man.
that bitch, I guess she's from Mount Vernon. I didn't know she was from Mount Vernon, prosecuting attorney.
Linda Fairstein.
Man, she looking bad. And that's the devil, the pride of
She's
our
still
heart.
talking shit.
She's still talking
They get a
shit.
fucking article in the New York Times.
Yeah.
This bitch get an article after that.
Yeah. See, because you got the other Edomites, you got Edomites that act like they like you, and you got Edomites that ain't don't even act like they like you.
Right.
You got different types of devils. You got them phony devils.
The
You know, they sit there, I got black friends, I love you, you're my, you know. And you got the other ones, fuck you niggas.
Yeah.
We hate all you niggas. Trump,
Why are you here?
he said, I ain't gonna apologize for nothing, basically. He said they admitted to it. He said, fuck it. They said they were guilty. But here it is, the proof came out that they didn't do it, but Trump is still, you know, showing you what time it is, man.
Yeah.
And then easily he'll win the next election, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, because well, one, he's the puppet that those things are rigged anyway, and two, he got the hearts of these devils, man. You see, he make Esau feel comfortable to come out with the hate they have towards you niggas, man.
Right,
That's right.
You know?
And that's going to be a lot of friction during that election time.
Oh, man.
A lot of racial tension.
Yeah.
So the Lord is winning. We went.
Yeah, the prophecy,
all we gotta
man.
do is ride the wave of prophecy, man.
Yeah?
I got it quick.
Oh, yeah, done.
This is Nahum 3 and 5.
Oh, man.
Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts. I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, meaning it's lifted.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You see.
All the
Yes,
witnesses,
see them chitlins hanging,
Yep.
maybe the vaginal rolls, that funk, all that
Tattoo, cross, skull.
genital warts and
Real skull.
chlamydia, that green gonorrhea
Bugs.
juice,
Grilled cheese, salad,
crabs, lobsters.
Had a water baby.
Yeah,
Tramp stamp.
Yep. I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame.
Look at
Right? And all the other nations are seeing it. That's why I remember when Iran had came to the UN. What was he going into? He was going. And you know they be watching us too. The mother heathens. But he had a slave chart. He had a slave sign. He was condemning America for the slavery of the so-called Negroes that came in.
Look at that.
This is I forgot. Dinajab, if I'm saying his name the right way.
yeah.
How do you say his name?
Dinner job.
Yeah. He was
Oh,
sitting
he
there.
cursing America out about
He
that.
was cursing America out over slavery, man. So all these other nations are seeing your folly. You got these movies when they see us, documentaries. All right, everybody
13.
see. Huh?
13.
Yeah.
That's a bad
Oh, I don't know about that.
That's
Real bad. It shows how they purposely put Jake in prison
Yeah.
because the corporations make money off of Jake being in prison. 'Cause
Oh, okay.
Jake in prison is basically making these products so they can
It's slavery.
Yeah, free slavery.
Yeah,
free slave labor.
Yeah.
Just like the movie Life. He said anyway, the state of Mississippi got a bunch of free labor off you niggas. Yeah, we know you niggas didn't kill that guy. So what?
Right.
As long as the state of Mississippi
You got some free labor.
got some free labor out of
And
here.
that's what it's all about, man. That's what this devil's about.
Fucking devil, man.
You know?
Straight up.
Yeah, because when they created all these different laws, like if you don't walk in the crosswalk, you're jaywalking, or if you spit on the sidewalk, then they put you in prison, put you in the chain gang. Because after Jake was released from slavery, Esau figured a way to put Jake back into slavery, and that's where you got this court system and all that. That was all set up to put Jake back in slavery
And see,
under the state.
Yep, and that's what leads into the chip. Again, we got to bring that back up because they want to put because Jake done gone too far.
Yep.
You got Jake, which mainly, especially dealing with us, the prophets, and starting with the apostles and elders and brothers that's teaching this word. All right, we out here teaching against them.
That's right.
We couldn't do this shit. I mean, not shit. Pardon me. We couldn't do what we do going back 100 years, 60 years. We couldn't do this like that, So now you got Jake that is getting in positions of power. You got a lot of Jake CEOs that are actually owning things. So they like, nah, we gotta do something about it. Just like going back during the time of Egypt, the Egyptians, they got scared because Jake was multiplying. And Jake was starting to rise. And they like, wait a minute, they're gonna end up taking us over.
Right, exactly.
So right now you got Jake in all these positions, even as the celebrities, because the sports is really a different type of slavery, plantation basically, right? But now you got dudes like LeBron James and other key factors. He put his boys on.
Yep.
They got that little management team.
Yep.
Now they're starting to take the power from the owners' hands
Right.
and putting it back in the players' hands. So now they're getting all these contracts that benefit the Jakes. That's why a lot of these Jakes might get hurt, but they still getting $300 million
12 mil.
They still getting
for 4 years, but they're still getting their money. So that's why Esau wanted to start destroying Jake and putting him back in slavery. And he's leading everybody basically back into slavery.
That hand is on that hill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's what it is. Esau feel it too. He's trying to shake it. He's trying to get loose, man.
You know what's heavy? Now, before I bring out this precept for y'all, this is Isaiah 42:7, right? But he's making a movie called Space Jam 2, right? Now, when you watch that first one, Space Jam was the Monstars was talking about the elites. They was taking the Jake or Michael Jordan and had him in slavery. They said, we're just going to have you in slavery. You're going to play ball for us, sign signatures. It was all about slavery. Right now he's making a part 2, and that was all about going against the Monstars or the slave owners.
Look at that. That's just
Yeah, the
Lord
first one.
controls all of that.
Hey, but you know the funny thing about that, in retrospect, what they was gonna do to Jordan in the movie, put him on Moron Mountain, and have a chain on them
Yep.
and have them play basketball, but lose
Yeah.
to the Monstars.
yeah,
Every
yeah.
game, you're just gonna lose to the Monstars.
Slave, yep.
But Jordan's actually doing that.
Right.
But he's charging the shit out you crackers. When you crackers come to Michael Jordan's camp, of course he rolls out the red carpet for you, but they're paying $25,000 a pop.
Yeah.
CEOs of these corporations,
Each,
and
yeah.
each of them are paying 25 G's to come and ball with Jordan for a week, but they're eating top level 5-star gourmet food and all that. And then they're sitting there like little children. These are fucking men that are CEOs of corporations, and they looking up to a big, tall, black ass man,
Because
asking them questions about how should they deal with their children,
Right.
their family, their corporation.
Mm.
So Jake done turned it around on you, man.
well, that's the gods of the earth.
That's right.
Yasha Allah, he's a prince of the power. We're the sons of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this is a quick precept for y'all. This is Psalms 142:7. It says, "Bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name."
Look at that.
Because America's a prison.
It's a prison
Even if
camp.
you're so-called free, you're not free. If you pay taxes, that's called tribute.
Yep, that's
You're a
slavery.
slave. Now with the RFID chip, that's just the finalization of the ultimate goal of having everybody in slavery. Because now, look, once you're not in the prison house, you're still in the prison house because what?
That's right.
You got cameras everywhere watching your every move. See, in jail, they first had the cameras in jail, said they don't have no rights. They don't have no privacy. Now guess what? It's out there on the regular so-called free citizens.
Yeah.
So you're still in slavery.
That's why after 9/11, George Bush Jr. passed that law that all phones had to have a GPS in them. Before, the phones didn't have the GPS.
Right,
None.
So now that's their bug. Back in the days when they was going after the mob, they would actually put a bug in your phone in your house, and they would actually put bugs in the wall so they could hear the conversations that was going on. Plant cameras. They don't have to. The bug is the phone. The phone is the bug.
Yep.
Because it's now the phones that making them so they keep the battery in the phone. You can't take the battery out. So as long as the battery's in there, even though you turn the power off, they have access to the camera
Oh yeah.
and access to the microphone.
Ooh,
Every
man.
program you download is spyware. It says, can we have access to your
Right,
pictures,
right.
your phone
Yeah,
records,
yeah.
your microphone, and your camera?
Right.
And then
But
won't stop.
but this app is for you to say get vegan recipes. It'll give you updates and give you different vegan recipes. Can we have access to your microphone
Yeah.
and your camera and
Your
your contacts,
pictures.
You
and
got
your pictures,
now
and
you
your,
got
and
it.
your messages,
You gotta do it.
Right.
and
you
your
gotta
text
do it.
and your text messages?
Yep.
I'm just motherfucking getting vegan recipes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's like Daniel 25. The policy shall prosper, which policy through the spirit we understand is intel.
Right.
Intelligence. Intel is somebody telling you what's going on.
Right.
So now your phone, your camera, your smart TV, your smart wash machine, just tell it.
It's telling on you. It's telling on yourself.
Yeah, and he's trying to become the most high by carnal means.
Right.
That's
Yep.
basically what he's trying to do. You know, he has his prophecies. Well, he'll put it in the Simpsons cartoon, and then he'll kill Prince. For
Right.
him, he's God. He's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
They get more,
He's
yeah.
playing the Most High.
Playing the Most
He
High.
knows
Yeah,
what you've been
Robin,
doing.
yeah.
He knows what you've been. You know that Santa Claus song.
Yeah.
That's
But
basically
Santa is
Satan.
Satan.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. Yeah. Those are the doing.
Yeah.
Naughty and nice.
No, that's what this devil's doing, man. And that's basically what they're doing. And that big brother thing,
Yeah.
this is nothing new. They've been plotting. Now we at the end where they're actually trying to establish it. You see, and it's spiritual because why? Howard Shai's on his way.
Yep.
Now that's why you see again the chariot sightings. They seeing chariots left and right.
That's right.
To the point where they can't even deny it. Before they should be able to cover it up.
Right.
They said, yeah, we know about it, man. We got video. We know that they exist. So that further, going back to the Galilean dialectic, that puts more fear and pressure on the people,
Okay.
you know, to make them want to accept that new world order.
And they're so proud, they got Project Bluebeam where they want to try, part of their way of conversion to everybody convert is try to have a fake UFO invasion and have everybody conform to the new world where they could put holograms and stuff out there in the space. That's why Matthew, the 24th chapter said he's going to come with great signs and miracles and wonders in 2 Thessalonians.
Yeah.
The second chapter, and it said if it were possible, they would be able to deceive the very elect. If.
Right.
That's right.
You see that technology guy? He can make you say something that you ain't really say. He can change your speech.
God.
Make it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They use all of that.
He saw could demonize you. They could sit there and you know, sit there like I mean, the hell with that devil. But Alex Jones, right? Which I'm thinking that they must be finished with him because he's an insider.
Yeah,
He's
he's
played out, so they feeding him to the dogs. But back in Connecticut, actually he's in Bridgeport, Connecticut, at the poorhouse,
Yep.
right? Because he got a lawsuit. They really sticking it to him over that Sandy Hook thing, right? So they try to say that he sent them child pornography.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Right, but now they were supposed to have been unopened files or whatever. And then he lost it. So I'll put $1 million on your head, put your head on a stick. I'm gonna kill you, devil. You know his bullshit. He goes into it, but that shows you that they not justifying it, dude, but they can do that. They can sit there and chuck up stuff and make it look like you a terrorist or that you've been having contact with Osama bin Laden. Even though they said he killed him already.
Yeah, but you talking to
But
him.
you still talking to him.
Well, they showed you that in that movie Running Man.
Doing the
The
seance.
predictive program that he was trying to save the looters or the rioters from getting shot, and he fought against them. They knocked him out and shot and killed the people. And they said, "Look, he did it." And they showed you how they used the software to change the format around and made him look like the villain. That's part of Esau's devices, Satan devices.
That's right. So
You were speaking about the chariots.
okay.
It says here, Psalms 104:1. Blessed, O Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, O my soul, O Lord, power, my power. Thou art very great, thou art clothed with honor and majesty, who covereth thyself with the light as with a garment, who stretcheth out the heavens like a curtain, who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the wind. Those are what you call the UFOs.
I got you, bro.
Those are the chariots of the Most High. That's the curse that goeth forth over the earth. That's the way that we're going to get out of here. Remember that song, she'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. And when she'll be coming around the mountain, riding her will be King Jesus. Those are the original lyrics.
Wow.
King Jesus will be riding the mothership when she comes around the mountain.
King Yahushua.
King
Which really,
Yahushua.
really,
So like it.
No, I'm just saying the right.
Say it the way that the white men don't want you to say it. Malaki Hawashai.
That's right.
She'll be coming around the mountain. It's called when the chariots come.
You talking about you talking about the clouds. The Lord, that's what they get transformers from. The angels can transform and make themselves into all different objects.
Yep.
That's where they stole that idea of
Yeah,
transformers.
right.
That's where they stole it. 'Cause they can look like an actual cloud, this solid, make the material solid and come attack you. And guess what? Who was the guy? William Cooper. William Cooper, he's one out there that they killed who wrote Behold the Pale White Horse. He's had a whole bunch of encounters where he said he was in the Navy or Army where the chariots used to come full speed and hit the water and not make it quiver. That's when you're talking about power. Or it could become, and look, when some of the prophets or Ezra seen it, it said that when Yahushua came on that mountain, he'll be coming around on the mountain and said it looked like it was a city or continent that was in the sky.
That's right.
The fathership.
That's right.
Yeah.
Revelation 1:7. Behold, he cometh with clouds.
Wait a minute. It said, behold, he cometh with clouds. When you look up and you see the chariots, you see they look like clouds, but you're like, damn, that cloud got a different kind of light on it.
Right.
Because the other clouds, you see it's a white cloud, but it's a cloud, but there's lights that are flashing in this cloud.
Right.
When the movie Independence Day, when the UFOs finally manifested themselves, you seen a cloud with fire enfolding in a cloud with lights. Those are the chariots. The scriptures say, the brothers reading in Revelation 1:7, behold, he cometh with clouds. We read in the book of Psalms, he maketh the clouds his chariot. Yeah. So the white man, you got a chariot. So the Most High can't have a chariot. The angels don't have their chariot. You got your different cars, BMW, Mercedes, this and this and that. So the Lord can't have a chariot.
You notice he blasphemes the chariot. He makes people think it's a big head alien. That's embedded in people's minds. Like a child. You know, the nigga on the Flintstones.
Oh yeah, but you know that's an actual demon that
Kazoo,
that's an actual demon that Aleister Crowley used to correspond with called Ewas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an actual demon, and they put that in.
Right, subconscious. They do hypnosis and everything too. They
Right.
put it in people. You know,
Men in Black.
Yeah.
When there's a sighting, the Men in
Yep.
Black come and they put that you under that hypnosis and tell you this is what you see. You seen the thing with the 3 fingers,
Mhm.
and they got the big ass eyes and the big head.
Yeah.
Man, fucking bullshit that they push. That's what they put out there, man.
X-Files music.
That X-Files shit.
Yeah.
You know? But what you said like Ewas, right? That nigga Jay-Z on his what's the Reasonable Doubt. He said, I don't pray to God, I pray to God E.
Ooh,
Yeah.
wow.
In one of his lyrics, he said that I don't pray to God, I pray to God E.
Right. Oh my
That was
goodness.
the crawler.
Yeah, Ewa.
Ewas.
Yep.
Damn.
Remember, and Jay-Z wore, thou shalt do what thou wilt.
Do what
Oh,
thou
so
wilt.
like-
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
goodness.
witchcraft.
There's witchcraft.
There's witchcraft.
Revelation
God,
13.
spirit.
Oh, okay.
All right.
No, you got it, brother. It's coming. You got it. You got it.
And he opened his mouth and blasphemed against the Most High to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven, the angels.
That's
Yeah.
the angels.
You
Yeah.
blaspheme
Yeah.
the name,
Yeah.
you blaspheme the tabernacle, you
Which is
blaspheme the
Israel,
name, the
tabernacle.
tabernacle, you put an image of Caesar Borgia, you had Michelangelo paint the Sistine Chapel,
Mhm.
the finger of God, a
Right.
fucking white man.
Yeah.
You did all of that.
You
gonna pay for that,
Pecker.
man.
Gotta pay.
Yeah,
Maggots.
with the
Yeah.
you know, with the gecko pecker, whatever the hell.
Yeah,
Because it's pedophilia, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
What shit is that?
The angels-
Beckett statue.
Hey,
Like the angels don't got clothes.
You gotta remember too, the angels are fellow servants.
yeah.
You know, like that's where you get the Jacob's ladder where the angels were ascending and descending.
Mhm.
Hey, a lot of the angels when they came down from the message, like Daniel, it was, I think it's Daniel's 9:22. Gabriel said he came down to give Daniel knowledge, wisdom, and skill from the Heavenly Father. That's their job. That's when you get like inspiration to do a show, or whatever. The Lord send an angel. I want this show done, and they'll come and inspire you. They're fellow servants of the Lord. They can't wait to put a foot in their ass. That's why I said Michael shall stand up, and the other archangels to put a foot in this man's ass.
Yeah, and they really physically, they really gonna come and put that foot in your ass. Go ahead. Bro.
Oh, so this is right with the elder said, this is Revelation chapter 14, verse 6. And I saw another angel fly in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach unto them that dwell on the earth.
Everlasting gospel.
Everlasting
That's
God.
deep in itself. So how do you think you're gonna stop this truth, man? This is the everlasting gospel, man, that we got, man. The truth speaks for itself. You can't stop this, man. Even with all your, this technology, you can make all kind of robots. You can do all types of
Witchcraft, all the
artificial
smart-
information,
all your smart shit.
artificial intelligence, or whatever you want to call it. Trying to make a cyborg and humans and what they call them, different type of humans like androids and everything like that.
And you got your DARPA program.
Yeah.
where you got your DARPA soldiers that
Yep.
are ready because when you have Civil War,
Yeah.
Civil War is eventually gonna be breaking out here in America. A lot of the National Guard in them, a lot of them within themselves are not gonna want to kill their own people. So you're gonna have to bring in soldiers from other countries, and you got your DARPA robots ready to go out there and handle that situation, like we were watching in the movie Mother, iRobot,
Yep.
the Terminator, the movie Elysium with Matt Damon, what's the
Star
movie?
Wars.
Star Wars, the movie Oblivion
Yep.
with Tom Cruise with the robots.
Yeah.
So
The drones,
drones,
big
right.
looking drones.
yeah,
Right, so all of that you got, and that's why it's gonna be the greatest battle, I guess if you will. And Yahweh Shai, the Lord set it up. The Lord of hosts must the battle, and Yahweh Shai is coming because that's how he's gonna be magnified, man.
Yeah.
That's why I said he had many crowns, because he's gonna put down all these nations with all of their armies, with all of their technology, and all these toy soldiers, these super soldiers they call them,
Yeah.
androids. Look, you got Iran shot one of your drones down that you spent millions of dollars on, man. So what you think the Lord gonna do to your aircrafts and your drones and your navies and air forces, man?
well the Lord is going to take them over. First of all,
Yeah.
the angels can take over and turn it on you.
Right,
Take
right.
over your technology
Yeah.
and turn it against your ass.
Well,
man.
that was what Ezekiel 39:3 says, shall smite the arrows out the right hand and left hand,
Right.
because every launch or missile silo, anytime that a chariot is around there, they said the launch pad just start going off by itself,
Look at that.
and right before it get to that last second, it reboots. And they got plenty of news and meetings on that, right online. You look it up.
Look at that.
I got a precept for you.
So you're dealing with a power so vast and so far beyond anything that you can comprehend. Number one, you dirty snaggle too fast crackers, you can't get past the Van Allen belt.
Right.
You can't even get past the Van Allen belt.
Right.
That belt of radiation, the invisible belt of radiation that's above the earth. You can't even go past that. I'm talking about you've been to the moon. Fuck out of here, man. You can't even get past the Van Allen belt.
I got a precept for you. This is Exodus 23 down to 22. It says, behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and bring thee into the place which I have prepared. It says, beware of him and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thy enemies and an adversary unto thy adversaries.
That's Yahweh Shai.
Yep, that's Yahweh Shai. Yep, yeah, because his name
That's
is in
in
him.
the Torah for those, people who don't believe in the Messiah.
Okay.
Who's that angel, man?
Right.
But basically, when you trust in that angel, this is what the Most High said. This is my son, of whom I will please hear ye
Yep.
him.
Right.
So we hearken unto Yahweh Shai. Basically, that's how
Okay.
big things are gonna happen for the elect through their faith. Man.
And to prove that was Yahweh Shai, that's why in the book of Corinthians it says Yahweh Shai was that angel that led by daytime in the cloud, and he was the pillar, the cloud of fire by night. That was Yahweh Shai.
That was Yahweh
And
Shai.
it said he will not pardon your transgressions.
Exactly.
So that gotta be Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Yeah.
Melchizedek.
Good.
So
Yep.
Hey, so the Lord said he was going to be with us. Now in the Apocrypha with Judas Maccabees, one of those particular battles, the men that were with him were men that were basically farmers. They weren't warriors, but he had them bow down, pray to the Lord, put ashes upon their head. They prayed, and then the angel of the Lord appeared. The scriptures tell you that the angel of the Lord led them in the battle, and the angel of the Lord picked Judas Maccabees and held them in his bosom. And then they led the men and they slaughtered them goddamn demons.
Good.
The angel of the Lord came and aided them, but the angel picked and held Judas up and protected Judas Maccabees and led the men into the battle and slaughtered them. Wow, sons of bitches, man. That's in the Apocrypha. I forget the exact verse. But that's just another example of the Lord being with us.
Goodness gracious.
Right, yeah.
Got one?
Go ahead,
Real
brother.
quick. This is Habakkuk chapter 3, 3 verse 2. Okay, hey brother, the spirit work. You got
No,
it.
you got it. That's the start
All
of it.
right. It says verse 2. O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, I have heard thy speech and was afraid. O Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years, make known. In wrath, remember mercy. So we're in the midst of the year. We're at the end of time. And the Lord is reviving. He's making alive what? The prophecies, man. All right? Because why? The falling away of Cain, he fell, went through slavery. This devil came and became the greatest devil ever. The most wickedest kingdom America became. So now it's time when the Most High is about to put that work in on these devils, man. And he said he's going to have mercy on Israel, starting with the elect, right? So it said in his brightness was as the light. It said, pardon me. I skipped the verse 3.
Yes.
The Most High came from Teman in the Holy One from Mount Paran. Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. Meaning what? All those chariots, man.
That's right.
Just like that video, the lady showed that picture of all those multitude of the chariots that she seen, right? That's the Lord. It said his glory covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. And his brightness was as the light. You see the brightness from what? The chariots, man. Like the Elder Todd was going into earlier about how the chariots are like a cloud with that bright light. It said in his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Meaning the Lord coming back with power in the chariots, man.
Right.
All right? The horn represents power because those chariots, they are going to be shooting out fire and laser beams. It tells you that in the scriptures, man.
That's right.
So there was the hiding of his power. It said before him went the pestilence and burning coals went forth at his feet. You
Look
see?
at now with the brothers reading there, you seen an example of that again. Another movie again, a remake of what's that movie, War of the Worlds? Tom Cruise.
Right.
So those chariots, when they came up out of the ground, When they came up out the ground, they let out a sound,
Yep.
which was a ram's horn. And then what happened? You see these two things come out from the side of the chariot, and then
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah, I
And,
got
and people became what? Dehydrated. They turned into dust.
Yeah, you got smoke, literally.
They literally
Yeah.
got smoked.
I got a precept for that. It's Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter, in the starting at the 20th verse. It says, "His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds."
Boom.
From the clouds.
Boom.
Man,
That's
And you're gonna see dust pockets popping everywhere you go.
Yeah.
You're gonna see
Hey,
pockets
that's
of
a-
dust
Man.
yeah.
everywhere you go.
God,
Hey,
it
the Lord
says-
gonna smoke you, motherfuckers.
That's
right.
right.
Yeah.
It says, "Then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark."
Fly to the mark. From the clouds, from a well-drawn bow.
Hey,
Right? Because when you talk about a lightning bolt, they tell you that it's random.
Random, yep.
So you know they ain't talking about like a regular cloud.
Right.
If it was a regular lightning bolt, they said, well, it says, "As from a well-drawn bow shall they fly to the mark." So it's aiming, man.
You
know?
Hey, check this out. Backing on Habakkuk 3:9, it says, "Thy bow was made quite naked,
Yep.
according to the oaths of the tribes, even thy word." Because by the Lord is going to strike right where the Lord want that lightning to go to.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's for men of war.
That's the man of war, right?
Yeah, yep.
It said, "Thou didst cleave the earth with the rivers." It said, "The mountains saw thee," those other governments, those other nations, right?
Right.
And they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted up his hand on high. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows they went, and at the shining of thy glittering spirit, thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou did thresh the heathen in anger. Thou went forth for the salvation of thy people, even for the salvation with thine anointed. Thou woundest the head out of the house of the wicked.
Esau.
Yeah.
Leviathan, that crooked serpent.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got another one for you real quick too. This is Isaiah 42, 14 and 15. He said, "I have long time holding my peace. I have been still
Yeah.
and refrained myself. Now will I cry like a travailing woman. I will destroy and devour at once." That's where you get that battle cry. It's a war cry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why you say you're like a woman. If you ever seen a woman giving birth, they go through purity hell. They scream, they holler. See, that's that battle. You remember I gag? They're gonna be that roar.
Yeah.
That's when you get the blowing of the horn. It's a
Yeah.
battle cry, right? It says, "I will make waste mountains and hills and dry up all their herbs, and I will make the rivers island and will dry up all the pools."
And then wait a minute, what's gonna dry up the rivers and the pools, man? That nuclear destruction, that
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah.
That fire, man.
Hey, in that Habakkuk 3 and verse 8, it says, "Was the Lord displeased in the rivers
Yeah.
and the waters and all of that?"
Right,
We'll get to that.
right. I was about to start it, man. That whole third chapter, man.
It's
Yeah,
bad.
That is
Bad.
serious.
Bad.
Stand it
The
up.
chariots
Yeah.
of salvation. You know,
Gun,
that chapter.
U.S.
yeah,
Some
man.
unidentified
Yeah,
submerged objects.
God. I got, was you done with yours?
Done. Yeah, good.
This is Revelation chapter 6, starting at verse 1.
And I gotta say this. This is beautiful, man. It's the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and these are the things we're supposed to be doing in these last days, man. You know, this is how we're supposed to really, truly occupy our time. Everything else is bullshit, man. This is where it's at, man.
That's right.
And this is exciting, man. It's looking into these things, these scriptures, man. You know, through the spirit of the Lord, how the Holy Spirit put them together, and you start seeing it all come together, and you see it clearly, man.
That's right. That's right.
This is what it's about, man. You know. So I just had to say that, man. And Esau don't like this neither, man.
That's right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, of course, which brothers should be prepared. They're going to make their move. But we don't give a damn because, look, the scriptures say there's no condemnation to them now in Yahweh Shai. And basically, if the Most High for us, who could be against us?
That's right.
You know?
That's right.
Greater is he that is in you than he that is up in the world.
God.
So Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is with us, man. That's the power, man. We serving the Most High, the power. That's who your daddy Satan bows down to, man.
Yeah, That's a spirit.
Mm.
Hey, before you bring out your precept, I got one for him. This is 1 Peter 4:7 down to 10. It says, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer.
Yeah, clear-minded, man.
Yep.
Clear-minded. And that's why the Spirit, like randomly you see the Spirit get on a brother, start prophesying, teaching, filming, right? Studying. You gotta be sober, meaning clear-minded, man.
That's right.
You gotta be mindful of everything, man, right? Because the end of everything, like this is serious, man. When you say the end of the world, it's not just like, oh, it's the end of the movie's over that you just want to see a 2-hour
Yep.
movie. Nah, this is the end of a civilization that's been established in wickedness for hundreds of years, man. We have to actually, the end of it, man. So when you think of that, like you understand how grand of a time that this is in, man. You know, which definitely ain't no time to be bullshit, shucking and jiving.
It says,
Right.
and above all things, have fervent charity amongst yourselves.
Yeah.
For charity covered a multitude of sins.
Right, and that's why the brotherhood is important, and you got to be a real brother, man. All right, fervent meaning that affection and compassion for your brother, man.
Yeah.
All right,
That's
Go
the
ahead.
key.
Yeah, and we push that. We don't gotta make a damn unity camp video to have brotherhood, man.
Right.
You're supposed to have fervent brotherhood with the true brothers, man, the believers, man, the ones that are really doing the work of the Lord. Go ahead.
It says, use hospitality one to another without grudging. As every man have received a gift, even so minister the same one to another as good stewards of the manifold grace of Yahweh by Shemal Shai.
A manifold grace, because the Lord's showing us grace, man. Being able to sit there and go into the scriptures and bring out the prophecies and extrapolate from these different movies that decode the secret messages that's behind it, to bring out the spiritual. That's a gift, man. That's a gift that the Lord blessed us, starting with the head apostles, all right, the rest of the elders, the rest of the Akim. These are the gifts that the Lord gave us, man, you know?
And one thing it said, use the hospitality one another without grudging. Hey, it's beautiful. Hey,
Yeah.
brothers visit other brothers open up. Hey, we're grateful. Because, you know, we don't sit there and think we're entitled to anything, but through the spirit of Yahweh by Shemal Shai, brothers open up that true fervent love
Right.
to help push this ministry to build up the flock, to watch over the flock. And that's beautiful. You're going to receive a reward. And the main thing is you never do anything grudgingly. When you do these shows, you study, it's an honor and a gift. And to look out for brothers, have charity, because that word charity means true brotherly love, which is the key to your salvation.
That's right.
It said the two top goals is what? To love the Heavenly Father with all thy soul and thy heart, and thy brother as thyself. With that, when you get Romans 13 and I think 11, it says, love worketh no ill to thy brother. Therefore, you're not going to commit adultery. You're not going to hustle them. You're not going to steal. You're not going to extort them. You're not going to abuse your power of authority.
You're not going to tell them to get tattoos.
You're not going to tell them to get tattoos
Right,
because those are things to your damnation. And when you read in the book of Hebrews, it said the apostles, elders, and all the captains, brothers have to make account for thy souls.
Yeah.
Now, if you see a brother going in that way, you can only warn him, as it tell you in the book of Ezekiel. And if he stumble that stumbling block, you have saved thy soul, and he's going to be accounted for his sins. But if you warn that brother and he dodged that stumbling block, you have saved thy brother's soul and thy soul. You know, this truth is heavy, man. And it's a gift. You ain't get it from your own righteousness, so you can't be proud.
Yeah.
Because the Lord was going to wax hot on all of us, but the Lord left a remnant that fear and have humility and believe on Yahweh by Shemal Shai.
That's right. God. Yeah. Then that Revelation, it goes back to the chariots and everything.
Yeah, go ahead. Right there.
This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 1. And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were a great noise of thunder. That's that cry he was talking about. One of the four beasts saying, come and see. Verse 2. And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
That's
Look
it.
at
Yeah.
that. He sat on a white horse. Look at that. Yeah, we're gonna read it. I wanna, as a matter of fact, I wanna read that. Let's start at the second verse and read down right until I think it's the 8th verse.
All right. This is 2 Maccabees chapter 11 and 2.
But before you read it, read that again.
Come.
Touch that again.
This is Revelation chapter 6, verse 2. And I saw and beheld a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
That's Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
And he had that bow. And he went forth conquering. Go ahead.
Oh, you keep going on that one? Okay.
Oh, that was it.
That was the pretty much the
Okay,
point
okay,
going
so
into that.
that was it. So now we were talking about all these different things that the New World Order has planned, what the so-called white man is trying to do. The DARPA soldiers, you know, they got their disease warfare, and they're planning. They're gonna make that ultimate push to come against us. And like I think it was Elder Menatas, like you mentioned earlier, like their thing is they want to see is the Lord really with y'all? You may mention something like that earlier.
Wisdom of Solomon.
Wisdom of Solomon, right? Is you know, you wanted to see if the Lord is going to defend us. Well, take heed to this right here. 2 Maccabees 11, start at 2.
2 Maccabees 11 and 2. All right. To make a gain of the. I'm supposed to start at 1. I mean, 2. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, 2.
And when they had gathered about the 4,000 with all the horsemen.
4,000. So that's 80,000. They gathered together 80,000 with all the horsemen. Go ahead.
He came against the Jews, thinking to make the city a habitation of the Gentiles.
Right. So they was coming to make the city a habitation of the Gentiles. Go ahead.
Like it is now.
Like it is now.
And to make a gain of the temple.
Right. So they were going to come to rob the temple also, to make a gain of the temple. Go ahead.
As of the other chapels of the heathen, and to set the high priesthood to sell every year.
Go ahead.
Not at all considering the power of the Most High.
Right. So these devils, the Greeks, they were coming down on us, but they not considering the power of the Most High. See, they didn't consider the power of the Most High. They were looking at a small force of men that were in front of them, but they didn't consider the power of the Most High. Go ahead.
All right. Not at all considering the power of God, but puffed up with his 10,000 of footmen and his thousands of horsemen and his 80 elephants.
Look at that. But they didn't consider the power of the Most High because they seen this small force of men before them. So they were puffed up with their 10,000s of footmen and his thousands of horsemen and his 80 elephants, which that's 80. That's 80 elephants. They're war elephants. So they had amassed this army and they were coming down to do damage, but they didn't consider the power of the Most High. Go ahead.
So he came to Judea and drew near to Bethsura, which was a strong town, but distant from Jerusalem about 5 furlongs, and he laid sore siege unto it.
Right.
Siege.
They laid a siege unto it. Go ahead.
Now, when they that were with Maccabees heard that he besieged the host, they and all the people with lamentation and tears besought the Lord that he would send a good angel to deliver Israel.
Look at that. So when they seen that they besieged, they cried to the Most High that he would send a good angel to deliver them. We just read about an angel in the book of Revelation.
Hey, if I may say, that's why the name of Yahweh Bashem El Shaddai is so important. That's why these false prophets try to hide that, because that's the power, our power source.
Yeah, it's a strong tower. The name of the Lord is a strong tower. So now these men, they were about to be besieged along with Judas Maccabees, and what did they do? With lamentation and tears, they sought the Lord that he would send a good angel to deliver them. Go ahead.
Then Maccabeus himself, first of all, took weapons, exhorting the others that they would jeopard themselves together with him to help their brethren. So they went forth together with a willing mind.
Right. So then Judas Maccabees took weapons and exhorting the men, pumping them up. To put your life on the line for your brother, to jeopardize your life for your brothers. And they went on.
Right. And as they were at Jerusalem, there appeared before them on a horseback one in white clothing, shaking his armor of gold.
Look at that. So now Judas and the men that he just exhorted and basically pumped them up in the spirit, take weapons. Listen, we're gonna go and take arms for our brethren. Our people are being hurt. So we're gonna go with these weapons and we're gonna take on these heathen. And then it says, and as they were at Jerusalem, there appeared before them on horseback one in white clothing, shaking his armor of gold. Then the Lord sent the angel on horseback, shaking armor of gold. So the angel came to get down. It says, and then they praised the merciful power altogether and took heart in so much that they were ready not only to fight with men, but with the most cruel beasts and to pierce through walls of iron. So they was ready to get down. They was ready not only to fight man, to take on beasts, and to even run through iron walls if they had to get the job done.
It's a spiritual power.
So
And we're in that position now.
we're in that position now where they didn't have to call on it, you know. So
We need that divine intervention.
Yeah. The Lord said, whoever so feareth the Lord, the angel of the Lord encampeth round about.
So Skynet, you know, with your, all your little tools, remember, this is what you're gonna have to stand against right here.
Yeah.
The Lord is gonna send a good angel, and together with the angel of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua,
That's right.
we're gonna whoop your motherfucking ass.
That's right.
Right, we can
Period.
get up here.
Come
Yeah.
Yeah.
First, this is 2 Maccabees chapter 15 and 21.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Maccabeus, seeing the coming of the multitude of the diverse preparations of the armor and the fierceness of the beast, stretched out his hand toward heaven. This is a whole nother war.
This is another battle. So he's seen the weaponry, and he's seen the armies that were coming forth for what? Coming to get Israel.
Yeah.
And he stretched his hands unto heaven, and he prayed unto the Most High. He prayed unto Yahweh. And now let's see what happens.
Right. All right. And he called upon the Lord that worketh wonders, knowing that victory cometh not by arms.
Right.
But even as it seemeth good to him, he giveth to such as worthy.
Look at that.
When you keep reading, man, basically, the Lord worked a mighty work.
Yeah. That's the Lord. And that's why the Lord's only dealing with a remnant, so the Lord gets his glory. Like we
Hey,
create.
yeah.
That's right.
It's like not to cut you off. And that's why you gotta pray to the Most High that you be found worthy, man.
That's right.
That's what it means. Fruits meet for repentance, man. And that's why the Spirit's coming down heavy as far as, GMS. It's always a house cleaning, it's always a tightening up and everything. And because really, man, this is a real deal, man. You don't get no greater than this, man. And you should be very grateful. We all supposed to be grateful, man. And appreciative that the Lord opened our eyes and called us from out of that fucking world, man.
That filth.
That filthy world. So, it's all spiritual, man, and the Most High is gonna fight for us.
That's right. That's
The
right.
Lord's He's always fought for us. It's just that we've been called to suffer, and we just got to continue to suffer and be
That's
patient, man.
That's right.
And wait, and be found. Pray to the Lord to be found doing the work when Yahweh Shai returns, man. Pray to be a part of that faith that's found still when Yahweh Shai returns.
That's right. That's
You
right.
know?
So, the 5 foolish virgins, the 5 wise, the 5 wise, let the candles shine bright, so to speak. Which is your gift, your talent.
That's right.
And pretty much with that,
Yep.
we end off right there.
Done.
Yep.
So, brothers,
Yeah.
Yahweh B'Shem
Yahweh
Yahushua.
B'Shem. And then give all praise to Yahweh.
Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakadash.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.